Welcome, everyone, to the May 1st Information Technology and Communication meeting. Let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you, everyone. Are there any additions or changes to the agenda?
Oh, I'm sorry. No,
That's all right, Connie. I thought you were thinking on it.
no, there are not.
Okay. All right, moved and supported. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? It is passed. Okay, what about our minutes?
I move them.
Okay, moved and supported. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? All righty, we are on to our first of two limited public comment. I see none. All right, moving on. Communications Director update.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Active communications right now, Resource Recovery's recycling event in Delta Township on May 18th has an ad running in the County Journal for the next 2 weeks. You do have to register to get that address for the event, and digital promos are also active right now. I've been working closely with Resource Recovery to kind of up their social media game and to really start communicating with residents. The Sheriff's Office Deputy Paramedic Program promotional materials are in development, including press promotions, working closely with the Sheriff's Office and the Sheriff on that to make sure that goes out timely and correctly. Also working with GIS to build new platform to kind of share information with residents around property values, taxes, and other geographic information. Really impressed with that work in that office. John Merrick, a big shout out to him. And our 10th county newsletter is coming out a week from today. And we also have a new streamlined subscription page to make it easier for folks to subscribe to the newsletter. It was kind of a struggle at first to get that how we wanted it, but it's without any real promotion. We've actually saw about a dozen folks find it and subscribe, which has been really cool to see. Any questions on that section there? All right.
Mr. Holmes?
The resource recovery, is that just township, Delta, or countywide?
It's countywide, but the
okay.
address will be in Delta Township for that
Correct.
event.
Yeah, I just wanted that for the records.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
All right, for social media, we did have that active boosted post advertising to help us gain more reach in targeted areas, specifically Bellevue and Delta Township areas. As I stated last month, over 25% of our followers on social, at least Facebook, are from Charlotte, and then it kind of breaks down from there, Eaton Rapids, Lansing area. And so we saw about 300 new followers from that and an additional 7,000 in reach. That geographic data will accumulate over the next week or so, be a little more accurate. But what I have noticed in the change is that it seems like we've actually gained followers across the board. So I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm going to look into that. That was supposed to be way more targeted, but it didn't work out that way for some reason. And then cumulative reach, that's what that graph on page 2 is of my report. With boost from that 5-day targeted ad, we did reach about 11,500 in April for the month. It's a decrease from the higher reach from March, if you'll remember, but we had an incredible amount of engagement in March with the bigger promotions for the town hall style meetings. So we saw a whole lot of sharing and reach from that. But all in all, I am happy with sort of that steady increase over the month as we continue to throw out communications. For the website, we're continuing that website refresh process. Monthly shout out to Liz from Tech Services. With Civic Plus, we actually just solidified the new branding and color and such from our brand guidelines onto the site. They have all that. They've laid it out primary color-wise, so we approved that, made sure they had that right, as well as the new homepage layout template that's going to come later this summer. The major changes on that homepage, we're going to showcase social media and the top-line navigation, central embedded search bar within our main banner on the website, and then also a top services link that will cycle through what are folks accessing and looking for. Those will populate to be easier to access. And also an updated calendar, news flash, and press release area there on the modules too. So similar to what we have now, but a refresh of that. And then that graph, or that table there on the report kind of shows the top pages from March 25th to April 25th. If you guys want to peruse that, it's about the same as we've always seen with that search still way up there. And just a reminder that users can come back. That's why there's that disparity of, it looks like there's, users can calculate more views, it can still be the same user. So that's why the views disparity is there. So that's why that's such a higher number. So we didn't have 90,000 folks access it. We had 90,000 views of any given page. Any questions on the website piece there?
It's not.
Quick media update. I tried to link everything that's happened over the last month with media. Some of these are just organically occurred, and some of them were press media blasts from the county. FEMA Town Hall update, as well as external Town Hall style meetings. Fox 47 did pick up the FEMA Town Hall update. Want to give a big shout out to Emergency Manager Ryan Wilkinson. He is fantastic when it comes to being a PIO, Public Information Officer. He's great at talking to the press. He's great at sharing information. He's always so open to do that. So just wanted to give him a shout out. All the financial presentation materials are available on our website from the external Town Hall style meetings we did with the Financial Stability Work Group. Those are all fully available to the public. We had those up during the presentation itself, despite the technological failings of that evening. Prosecutor's office coverage, you saw national, state, and local coverage was fantastic for the county. Prosecutor Doug Lloyd did a fantastic job, as always, communicating. Substance use survey, we had several different push-outs for the opioid substance use and misuse strategic plan that we're doing. I was interviewed on WILS 1320 Morning Show, and really a lot more coverage that I didn't expect for that effort across the board. Special weather special, Emergency Manager Wilkinson again was interviewed by WILX. They did a whole thing on severe weather. Commissioner Toomey did a fantastic job fielding an inquiry about the potential insulin litigation. And then actually, one error on this, the Michigan MORT exercise, which is going on right now. News 6 was initially interested in covering that. That's happening right now, again, at the fairgrounds. It's a simulation of a plane crash, an emergency event. News 10 was there yesterday, and they're back today shooting some B-roll. They're going to do a spot on it. So it says News 6, but actually it should be News 10. Upcoming press, we're hoping to do for that recycling event in Delta Township, but also the next two recycling events as well. We really want to try and bolster our numbers from last year. Financial stability report, which I'll go into a little bit later. Deputy paramedic program, as I stated earlier, we're going to have several different iterations of sort of media promotion for that. We want to do it right and attract as many as possible for that. Youth facility and the struggles to hire and that expansion. We want to make it clear how we were able to do that project and what it's going to mean to staff it. And then also parks grants, distribution, and an update on that as well. Any questions on the media piece?
I see none.
All right, some project updates. That financial stability report from the Financial Stability Work Group. Staff has been working hard with the work group to finalize that. That is due out May 10th, Ways and Means, 9 a.m. You can watch it on YouTube. So this is just a plug to make sure that folks know that that is happening. I gave a plug this morning at the Lansing Regional Chamber meeting as well, and had a lot of people say that they will tune in, but hopefully they will. We'll see. Another project is the County Impact Campaign. So that's a digital information campaign I'm developing to kind of showcase, what does the county actually offer, broken down by office and department and service, with an emphasis on, our financial situation and struggle and what the county may stand to lose if we don't solidify what we're going to do, which again is another plug to please come to the May 10th Ways and Means meeting. And then finally, substance use, misuse strategic plan, outside of just doing some of that press to promote the survey for that aspect of it. Those survey results will be laid out in a report later this month, hopefully, is the plan. Any questions on that part?
Okay, no questions.
That concludes my report.
Well, I've got a question for you. Seeing as how we have Eaton County Fair coming up in a little over 2 months, what do we have planned for our fair from a technological standpoint? I mean, we got to brag on some of our departments. Are we doing anything specific on other than are we going to roll a logo out for them at that point, or?
I'd like to have it out there, but, you know, trying to figure out how to be cost-effective in doing that has been a struggle.
Okay.
But yeah, other than planning to blanket sort of all of our channels on promoting it and promoting, you know, that's why we kind of want to roll out in the next month that county impact campaign, get that message across. But other than that, no solidified plans yet, just sort of conversations about what the plan is. But if you have ideas, I'd love to have a conversation.
All right, well, not right now, because you might get a call, but
Yes,
yeah, I'll be in
thank you.
touch. I've got some thoughts in my head, so. All right. Anyone else? No more questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Technology Services Director update.
Good afternoon. I wanted to give you an update on broadband initiatives within the state of Michigan. Currently, the procedure that residents in the county, or actually in the state of Michigan, could use to challenge their address or verify that their address has coverage or which vendor is there, just to verify that the information that the state of Michigan has, that window has closed. That closed on the 30th of last month, so yesterday. So that portion of the project is closed now. The BEAD challenge for local units of government, for internet service providers, that's been extended to this Friday, and that closes at basically midnight on Friday. So basically, the internet service providers could go in and see what the state of Michigan has listed as far as what services and what service providers are in each of the regions, specifically within Eaton County, but it applies to the entire state of Michigan. And again, that closes on this Friday, May 3rd at midnight. The state of Michigan has to have essentially rebuttals or challenges back to the National Telecommunication Infrastructure Administration, who is administering the BEAD project at a national level. They have to have all of their responses back to them by July 22nd of this year. Any questions regarding broadband or BEAD project?
Don't see any.
Another update I want to provide is the Tri-County Aerial Imagery Project. That is still underway. That's something I brought to you last month. Proposals or RFPs were sent out to 11 vendors. Proposals are due back this month on the 15th. It was just decided that the team members comprising the Tri-County project, we're scheduled to meet on June 5th to kind of go over the proposals and discuss what the best options are going to be for the region. And then a vendor is still slated to be selected on June 14th. Any questions about that project? Okay.
You guys are getting off easy today.
We're not done. We're not done. I'm done. Well, you're done. Quick update on youth facility and as it pertains to Technology Services Department. Met with representatives from Granger on 4/15 of 2024 to discuss the technology portions of that expansion. Wanted to just verify that all of the equipment that was selected and slated was actually ordered and in place. Vendors have been selected that are going to terminate the network cables and the fiber infrastructure that's going to be in that building to connect the existing network closet to the new proposed network closet for that facility. Everything checked out, everything's in place. Mark Butler from Granger has been fantastic to work with through this project from my perspective. So everything's on track there as we know it for the youth facility expansion. Any questions for that project? Okay. Met with representatives from the Kritzman's Company for the Delta Township Substation new build on 4/19 of last month. Again, met with them to go over the proposed plans for the building, go over network, port locations, where security cameras are going to be placed, where security door card access was going to be located, so that way they can start putting together bids for vendors or put together spec sheets for vendors to bid on those projects. Everything is in place there. It sounds like that project is still on schedule, that sounds like maybe into that building of doing some kind of work later yet in 2025 or early 2025 is what's slated there now. But all in all, it's early in infancy of that stage, but we're putting together all the specs there. So it's not only the hardware that's going to go into that building, but also speccing out the new technology that's going to be needed there for the additional office spaces that are going to be there, access points, media room, technology. So all of those things are being considered and put together for consideration of what's going to make the final cut there. So, any questions about that project? Okay. I wanted to give a brief update on the GIS team and the work that they've been doing. There's an active project right now through the Construction Code Department of remapping all private roads within Eaton County. Much to my surprise, I didn't realize there was this many, but there are actually 249 private roads within Eaton County. So the staff there had tasked the GIS team to essentially review all the legal descriptions for those private roads and then redraw them because there were some discrepancies in which, some of the data was drawn down. A lot of that was due to old public land survey monuments that we had in our system. Through the remonumentation process, that's been tightened up. And then as technology for acquisition of coordinate values has become better, we're able to tighten that grid up a little bit. So we feel at a point now we're in a good place to be able to redo that data set and provide good information of where center line of those private drives are, as well as the right-of-way boundaries. So right now, as of today, out of that 249, 135 of those private drives have been looked at, redrawn, are in a review process with construction code staff. So, any questions on that project?
I can only think of 2 private roads off the top of my head, so that's a lot more than I thought there would be.
It's a lot. Also tasked the team with, sorry.
Didn't think you noticed. Eric, was that 249 roads or 249 miles?
Roads, private drives. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Also tasked the GIS team with reviewing all of our public-facing web applications. One, looking at rebranding those, implementing the new logo and any of those applications. And then also specifically targeting the farmers market application. That application essentially targets the location of farmers markets throughout Eaton County. Staff has reached out to each one of the organizations that runs each of those, updated the content and the information, basically lists the location, the hours in which that market is open, and the days in which it's open. That's up on the county website now and is in a current state. So it's actually get quite a bit of traffic on that. Mm-hmm. Any questions about that app? Okay. And then kind of following up on, we discussed just a moment ago about the public land survey system and going out and collecting coordinate values for section corner monuments in Eaton County. Since the GIS team here are not licensed land surveyors, we don't have the authority to access private property outside of a public right-of-way. So within the public land survey system, there's monuments that basically are around each mile in Eaton County, and then there's actually an interior section corner that's in the middle of the section. So of those points, we had a few that we still need to go out and get new coordinate values that were on private property. So a couple months ago, the team sent out roughly 200 letters to private landowners, basically seeking permission to access the property. Now, in most cases, we are more than open to having that landowner walk with us and go out there and accompany us during that process. So I'm very pleased to report that, out of that 200 plus that were sent out, we've already had 60 respond back, giving permission, and are more than welcome to do that. So it's only going to help our, foundation data for section corners for the county and tighten up our drawing network. So I'm really happy that we're having such success with that. Any questions about that?
Commissioner Holmes?
That would be just a comment I heard from a township official. Somebody called them asking what this letter was about. They wanting permission to come on their property and do that. So out in Brookfield Township that was. But so they just like, what's going on? So they got the answers when they called in. So good job.
Yeah, another comment I'd like to make about that is during the remonumentation process that the county is funded and the state is funded. Unfortunately, on our program, it didn't provide detailed coordinate values for each one of those points. So I know that's been talked about in different remonumentation committees of that. Essentially, that's going to be a phase 2 project Technically, this year, this is the last year that I believe our state funded for remonumentation for Eaton County, or in general. I don't think there's any additional funding at the state level for the remon program. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's how it is. Maybe not.
I don't want to say that either, just because it's going to continue where we have to do it. Now, obviously, we bring in additional funding from any of the deeds activity, but I don't want to say that it's ending, but you are right, we're coming to the end of
But
what we need to do.
essentially, anything going forward with any acquisition, I'd really like to engage the contract to state that, coordinate values are provided back to the county for inclusion in our mapping program here. That way, we're not having to go out and duplicate that work and go out in the field since the
Yeah.
licensed surveyor is already on the property. So that concludes my report.
Any other questions for Eric? All right, thank you, Eric. Nate, do you have anything to add? Not today, okay. Thank you. All righty, we are now at miscellaneous. Do we have any miscellaneous?
No, sir?
Do we have any more limited public comment? I don't see any. Well, before we conclude, I had a chance to spend some time with Eric and Liz and Nate over at the IT building this afternoon. And there's some stuff going on over there I did not know. It's neat. And Nate told me the public's not supposed to know some of it, so I won't say any more, but we should take a tour over there someday. It's pretty neat, so. Anyone else comment, question? All right, I will call this meeting to adjournment. Thank you all for being here.